Hello YouTube, welcome back to Happy Hour. Today we have a classic. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Happy Hour. As the intro states, and as you can see on your screen, we have an Islay Classic, Lagavulin 16. This is a whiskey, so let me start with this. Let me shout out to Hundy Proof. So he made a comment on a fellow YouTube or fellow whiskey lover on YouTube who was watching one of my videos, and he mentioned Glendronach 18 and Lagavulin 16, and he was like, "Hey, you know, what do you think of them? And it'd be great if you could do a review." And it reminded me that I do this sometimes. I kind of skirt around the outside of all these new whiskeys that I'm learning about. And I forget sometimes to go back to the classics that that really I probably should have done a review on in the first place. You know, like Glendronach 18, Lagavulin 16. These should have been arguably one of my first 5 or 10 reviews because they kind of are. They're really kind of benchmarks or measuring sticks or just extremely high quality products for what they represent. So, yeah, Lagavulin 16. It's not going to hurt my feelings to drink some of this today either. It's kind of cold out, So Lagavulin 16, obviously an Islay Scotch. It's been around for eons. It is a darling of the whiskey community, and rightfully so. It's fantastic whiskey. 16-year-old single malt, bottled at 43%. We'll get to that in a minute. Chill filtered? Yeah, think so. Color added? Yeah, think so. But it's a 16-year-old single malt from Islay. Yeah, I don't want to start with the niggles, but those are the facts, right? Pretty sure it's chill filtered, pretty sure it's color added, and it's only 43%. It is a 16-year-old, so that's what it's going for it. Now, the real kicker for me, and one of the reasons why... I actually bought this bottle not that long ago, but the reason why I haven't bought one in a while is because the price has been jacked up considerably from when I used to buy it. And that wasn't even that long ago. I think I probably bought my first bottle 6 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. But I always remember this being like a $70 whiskey. And around me now, it's a $100 whiskey. Now, you might say, hey, $100 for a Lagavulin 16, 16-year-old single malt Islay? That's pretty remarkable, you know. Imagine what a 16-year-old Ardbeg or a 16-year-old Lafroig would cost. And that's true. But then when you look at the, chill filtering, color added, 43%, it starts to kind of be like, So anyways, I don't want to start with negatives. Let's go into the nose. Let's see what we get. It's beautiful. It's everything. And this is why I kind of, I talked about yardstick, measuring stick. And I even mentioned this, I think, to my reply to Hundy in the comments was, even though this is not my favorite Islay whiskey anymore, it probably was at one point when I didn't maybe have a lot of experience with other Islay whiskeys. I still kind of think of it as one of my yardsticks because it's fantastic. It has everything you would want in a nose. It's a fantastic representative of the island. It has everything you want in the nose and the taste, which we'll get to in a second. I do get a little bit of iodine. I get that Islay iodine. Obviously, peat. It's not overwhelming peat. It's quite strong. It's not a hint of peat. It's not like a Highland Park 12. It's a punch. It's punchy peat. But it's not over the top. It's not Ardbeg Lafroig peat. And there's, because of the sherry influence, because everything is very well balanced, you get almost, along with the peat, it's kind of like a little bit of a barbecue smoke as well, because you get the sweetness of the sherry. So in my mind, there's the smoke and sweetness, which kind of reminds me of the barbecue smell a little bit. I even get a little bit of zest. I don't know if it's like an orange zest or like a lemon zest. And I get a little bit, the sherry is there. It's not overpowering. I say overpowering. It's well balanced with the peat. I think I mentioned this with the Ugadal review I did, the Ardbeg Ugadal, that sometimes super peated whiskeys, especially the straight bourbon, ex-bourbon aged whiskeys that don't have the thick sherryness to combat the peat, the peat can sometimes overwhelm a lot of the other nuances in there. I like peat and I like sherry. I like all of them, all styles, but I think I really love peat and sherry together. The combination is a really great mix. They can hang with each other. Yeah, a little bit of iodine, a little bit of wood, a little bit of charcoal. It smells fantastic. It's sweet. It's just really, really well balanced. Let's have a taste. It's delicious. Everything on the nose comes right through on the palate. There's the initial peat and that there's like a sharpness that comes on the tongue that coats the tongue quickly with the peat. It's really interesting. And then they get the sherry sweetness. Get a little bit of that sea salt as well, which I got on the nose as well. I don't know if I mentioned it, but there is that sea salt kind of salinity, saltwater taffy. But then you get the caramelized, a little bit of apple, little caramelized apple. It's really well balanced, and nothing's overpowering the other flavors. It's just really, really nice. Now, I kind of started off with some negative comments. I don't want to say negative things about this because it's a fantastic whiskey, and I'll probably have a bottle kicking around. I'll buy one at least once in a blue moon, I think, at this point, because of those few negatives. And on their own, those negatives don't bother me. We'll call them negatives. Unchill filtered, color added, 43%. This is a little bit weak on the finish. That is the only downer from a taste, from a flavor profile, that kind of bums me out. And I say the finish is there because the peat's there, right? So the peat tends to linger around forever. So the finish, there's a finish there, but there's really not a lot of mouth coat. There's not a lot of that thick oiliness that I get from Ardbeg, the Ugadal, like the Cadaris, Lafroig. That's a heavy sherry bomb. And even the Talisker Distillers Edition, not an Isla, but same vein. They're a lot oilier, and that's what I loved about these sherried, peaty whiskeys is there's that oily mouthfeel that goes with it. It's a little bit lacking on this one. So that's really the kind of only downer for me. I wish it was 46%. I wish it was cask strength. That'd be fantastic. But at least 46%, I think, would give me a little bit more of that bite and that kind of coating. Unchill filtered. I'll probably get some more of those oils in there as well. So that's kind of a bummer. I think it's a fantastic, and as silly as it sounds for $100 16-year-old whiskey, I think this is a fantastic gateway into Isla whiskeys. If you have somebody that doesn't know whether they like peated whiskeys or not, but they like sherried whiskeys, some Highland and Speyside whiskeys that they're interested in trying peat. I think Highland Park 12 is a great jump off because it's mildly peated, and if they enjoy that, then this is a perfect representative of what Isla can do. But I think it's just tamed a little bit. It doesn't make it bad. It just means it's a $100 bottle. Yeah, that just doesn't feel like it gives me all the girth. Girth's a weird word, but all the oomph that I think I can get in that same kind of price range. And let me give you a couple examples. All right, so through the magic of editing, here are two other examples that I think right now I enjoy a little bit more than I do the Lagavulin 16. I don't even, actually, that even sounds stupid. I hate to keep backtracking because I love this whiskey. I'll say it this way. Here are two other whiskeys that are really in the same ballpark as far as flavor profiles and what they're trying to present to the world, but they're also less expensive. The Ugadal is about $75, I think. Well, the Distillers Edition's not much cheaper. Maybe it's $10 cheaper. But the Ugadal is close to cask strength, right? It's about 54%. The Talisker's not much higher percentage. It's like 45.8, almost 46, which helps it. But there's like just some different, these are, Amoroso cask wood and double matured. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like there's just some more interesting things happening. But anyways, I'd like to give them a quick side-by-side because I haven't done it before. But I feel like when I grab these bottles, I feel like I'm getting a little more out of them, in my brain at least, than when I grab this bottle. Let's see if that's actually the case, because I could be just tainted in the brain. All right, let's go with the nose. Ooh, it does have a lovely, when it sits for a minute, you get this instant kind of barbecue wood smoke nose. Yeah, the Ugadal. The Ugadal I get a little more sherry out of. But then I get the classic iodine and sea salt. And it doesn't smell, it's not super hot on the nose for 54 odd percent. It's again, pretty balanced on the nose. Talisker. Wow. Yeah, I don't remember it smelling like this. It's probably because I've got some peat whiskeys in me already. Wow, I get some like white grape. I get some smoke, obviously, some peat. Got some white grape, some bourbon. I can smell the bourbon barrel, or I can smell the bourbon influence. I can smell the cask, the extra cask influence. It's just really interesting. Maybe it's just because it's different. Because this is fantastic. This is so unique, really. Yeah, that's... I don't know what I'm talking about, actually. These are all fantastic whiskeys. I taste the Ugadal. Oh, man. Yeah, see, that's where it comes live. This guy is like... Again, it's not the same. It's not the same as the Lagavulin. It's got an Ardbeg profile, which is similar. They're in the same vein, right? They're all hanging out in the same yard. But and it's probably the extra percentage. It's just like it's like a punch in the taste buds every time you take a sip of it. And again, very well balanced. Not any one of whether the sherry notes or the smoky notes, they're not beating each other up. All right, let's go to the Talisker. I probably just blew my palate out with the Ardbeg, but wow, it smells so fruity now. Oh my God, that is so sweet and fruity now. In contrast. Yeah, it's just more interesting now. I guess maybe I like sweeter whiskeys. I don't know. I guess really my conclusion is I don't have a conclusion. So I'm sorry I made you watch the video all this time. I guess really what my point is that if you've had Lagavulin and you haven't tried some of these other guys, you might find you get maybe a little bit more for your money. I don't know. It obviously depends on how much it is around you. Now, the Talisker is obviously not an Islay whiskey. It's Islay Sky, right? I don't know why I'm blanking. I'm pretty sure the Islay Sky. But it's definitely in the Islay, or the island vein. It's quite peated, and it's got the multi-cask maturation whiskey juices in them. That stuff. So yeah, fantastic whiskey. If you haven't had a bottle, you probably owe it to yourself to buy it. I'd be very surprised if you don't like it. And then at that point, maybe there's some other bottles that are in that same vein that you should probably try out and may find they're maybe a slightly better deal. Or not. There we go. That's the most convoluted video I've ever done. But you know what? I got to drink 3 amazing peated sherry monsters, sherry peat monsters. Yeah, something like that. So that was a good day for me. Anyways, guys, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. Hope you're able to make some sort of sense out of it. Cheers. See you next time.